Welcome students, I am Ms. Sanskriti Mahale and I am going to explain you a small topic from semester 5 Indian Monetary and Financial System. So name of the topic is Financial Services, Venture Capital Finance and Financial Counseling. In this module, I am going to explain you the meaning of financial services, the concept of venture capital finance and financial counseling. At the end of this module, the learner will be able to define what are financial services, will be able to explain the concept of what is venture capital finance and financial counseling. What is financial services? Financial services are economic services which are provided by financial industry. It is as simple as that. So, any service which is provided by financial industry, it is called as the financial service. So, it includes broad range of services like which are provided by bank, credit card companies, insurance companies, accountancy companies, consumer finance companies, stock, beverages, etc. Now, in your syllabus, they have mentioned 5 financial services which is merchant banking, underwriting, credit rating, venture capital finance and financial counseling. In this module, I am going to explain what is venture capital finance and what is financial counseling. First, what is venture capital finance? Venture capital finance is a private or institutional investment made into the early stage or startup company. So, when you talk about venture capital finance, it is an investment into new venture or a new business. When you talk about ventures and venture capital finance, it is an investment in the startup companies. Since it is an investment for the first time at an early stage, it involves risks because the outcomes are uncertain, but the expectation or the amount that you are going to receive at the end is very large. So, venture capital is money invested in a business that are small or exist only at the initial period, but they have a high potential to grow. The people who undertake this investment, they are called venture capitalists. The venture capital investment is made when venture capitalists buy shares of such a company and becomes a financial partner in the business. And this venture capital investment is also referred to as risk capital or patient risk capital, as it involves the risk of losing money if the venture doesn't succeed and takes medium or long term period for the venture investment to fructify. So, results are either medium or long term period. Venture capital typically comes from institutional investment. Who are the people who undertake this venture capital? They are the institutional investors or high net worth individuals, and then those resources are pulled together by dedicated investment firms. It is the money provided by an outside investor to finance a new, growing or troubled business. The venture capitalist provides the funding knowing that there is a significant risk associated with the company's future profit and cash flow. So, there is a risk involved in this venture capital finance because you are starting the business for the first time. Capital is invested in exchange for an equity stake in the business rather than given as a loan. So, the venture capitalists, those people who undertake this investment, they do not give loan to a businessman, but rather they take part actively in the equity stake. They become a share partner in the business. Venture capital is the most suitable option for funding a costly capital source for companies and most for business having large upfront and capital requirement which have no other cheap alternatives. What are the features of this venture capital investment? It involves high risks, there is lack of liquidity, the time period to fructify the business is long or medium. Equity participation and capital gains. Venture capital investment are made in innovative projects. Suppliers of venture capital participate in the management of the company. So, those people who take active part in this venture capital, they also take a part in the management of the company. Now, what are the types of venture capital funding? We have 3 main venture capital types: early stage financing, expansion financing, acquisition or buyout financing. Early stage financing is further divided into 3: seed financing, startup financing and first stage financing. Seed financing is defined as small amount that an entrepreneur receives for the purpose of being eligible for startup loan. Then we have startup financing. It is given to companies for the purpose of finishing the development of products and services. Then last is first stage financing. Companies that have spent all their starting capital and need finance for beginning business activities at the full scale are major beneficiaries of first stage financing. Second, expansion financing is categorized into second stage financing and bridge financing. Under second stage financing, it is provided to companies for the purpose of beginning their expansion. It is also known as Mezzanine financing, it is provided for the purpose of assisting a particular company to expand in major way. Bridge financing may be provided as a short-term interest-only finance option as well as form a monetary assistance to companies that employ initial public offers as a major business strategy. And last, we have acquisition of buyout financing. Acquisition or buyout financing is categorized into acquisition financing or management or levered buyout financing. Under acquisition financing, financing is given to assist a company to acquire certain parts of an entire company. So, acquisition financing, money is given either to acquire a certain part of a company or to acquire the entire company. Then we have management or levered buyout financing, which helps the particular management group to obtain a particular product of another company. What are the advantages of venture capital finance? They bring wealth and expertise to the company. Large sum of equity finance can be provided. The business does not stand the obligation to repay the money. So, there is no businessman when a venture capital is invested, the company is not obliged to repay the money. In addition to capital, it involves valuable information, resources, technical assistance to make a business successful. But venture capital finance also suffers from certain disadvantages such as the investor who have given you the money becomes a part owner in your company, and there is also controls the management in your company. And venture capital finance is a medium term or long term. So, you have to wait for a company to prosper. So, it is a lengthy and a complex process. And it is an uncertain form of financing as there is risks involved. Benefits from such financing can be realized only in the long run. So, you have to wait for a more period of time for a business to fructify. The last is financial counseling. Financial counseling are the free services provided by qualified and caring professional known as financial counselors. So, it is a free service which is provided by professional person known as financial counselors. Financial counselors are skilled professionals who guide us through our options and help us to plan our way out of debt. They manage our debts and get our finances back under control. So, they are the expertise. So, what work they do? They help us, they may be able to assist us by doing a full assessment of your financial situation, including regular income, expenditure, assets and liabilities to help us to fully understand our position. They also provide us advice on how to negotiate with creditors, government agencies and other business providers. Negotiating directly, these are also the services which are provided by financial counselors. Negotiating directly with our creditors in certain circumstances, providing advice about what options, rights and responsibilities you may have, referring you to other services you may need such as legal services, crisis, food and accommodation services and health services. They can provide information and advice about credit and debt related matters, right of debtors, pros and cons of debt bankruptcy, working out a realistic payment plan for debts, how to access other special support services including gambling, family support, personal counseling, legal aid and emergency relief. What they do not provide, what services are not provided by financial counselors are, they charge set of fees and ongoing fees for service. They don't charge you a fee. So, these are free services. They does not help us in complex tax returns. Then they do not provide investment advice. That is a role of a financial planner. So, in this module, we have seen what is venture capital finance, what are the advantages, disadvantages and characteristics and types of venture capital finance, and we have seen what is financial counseling, what are the activities or how financial counselors can help us, and what are the role or what are the activities which are not undertaken by financial counselors. So, these are the references. Mostly I have referred online sources.